It's Saturday morning and 10 violinists arrive for their sectional at Troy High. The violinists start to unpack their cases and start warming up with some scales. All the violinists were very nervous because their concert is next week, and the conductor, Mr. Allen, had already yelled at them once for screwing up this piece.
Did everyone practice their parts? You can't upset Mr. Allen anymore, or we could get some serious trouble. Oh, yes, I did. Practice hugely. 40 hours a day. No one's comparable to me when it comes to practicing.
Oh, would you shut up, man. You are such a clown when it comes to practicing.
They start rehearsing their concert piece, and Mr. Allen hears a screeching noise coming out of a particular instrument. However, he can't figure out where it was coming from, so he decides to interrogate each student.
Okay, I have had it. Someone's playing the wrong notes and it's outrageous. At rehearsal number C, someone's playing a C flat instead of a C sharp.
Mr. Allen starts to hear each student play one by one, starting with their first chair, Timothy.
Beautiful playing, Timothy. What about your stand partner, Jeffrey?
Oh, I can vouch for him. Jeffrey was playing right with me the entire time, so he's good for sure.
Great, let's go to the next stand.
Mr. Allen continues throughout the whole section. However, he fails to find the culprit. Frustrated with not finding who is messing up, Mr. Allen decides to let it go and continue the sectional. After hearing yet another mistake, Mr. Allen interrogates the next stanza.
It wasn't me who messed up. I saw Joe doing his bowing backwards billions and billions of times.
Wrong, that is all wrong. Donald, you are the worst violinist America has ever had. I assure you, Mr. Allen, Donald is, in fact, the only one that has not practiced among us.
Fake news! Fake! It's all fake. Can't listen to any word Joe says.
After countless back and forths between Donald and Joe, Mr. Allen finally decides to kick the two violinists for wasting so much sectional time arguing with each other. Feeling confident that he had identified the culprit, Mr. Allen decides to play through the piece once more. However, Mr. Allen hears yet another mistake near the end of the piece. He decides to approach the problem in a different way. He will ask the students to play the ending once more, but this time he will walk around to examine each student while they play. Before Mr. Allen can cue the violins to begin, people in the section start whispering to each other about who the culprit might be. The conversations grow louder until everyone starts shouting accusations at each other across the orchestra room.
Guys, stop accusing each other of being the imposter violinists. I know who the real imposter is. It's all of us. We as a whole section are the imposter because we can clearly not work with each other.
Struck with this moving comment, Mr. Allen praises Skulk. He says that the section as a whole should be ashamed that none of them could admit to their mistakes. Mr. Allen was so moved by the sheer wisdom of Skulk's comment that he decides that Skulk is worthy of leading the section and makes him first chair. Then, he asks Skulk to play the solo for the section.
Sure, I can be first chair.
Mr. Allen wants to hear Skulk play, so he decides to start at rehearsal E, a spot that will set up the violin solo. As the time comes for Skulk to play his instrument, he raises his violin and begins to play. Mr. Allen stops the whole section in shock with Skulk's solo. Someone in the section squeaks,
Did I just hear a C string? Is Kulk actually playing the viola? He must be an imposter.
And it was at that moment that Skulk ran out of the orchestra room. In fact, he was so embarrassed that he ran all the way to Seattle and was never seen again.